Joe, you alluded to that the Republicans decades ago started figuring out ways to train up leaders long term, and not to say we've been slow to the game, but okay, we've been slow to the game, and I'm glad that we've got some resources on the ground. Who was the think tank person behind Progressive Majority when it got started?
Sure, and I'll mention that in a second. Just one quick comment to follow up Councilman Lopez. He struck on a theme that's very, very important, which is the grassroots activity of reaching out and empowering the people. And sometimes people in my line of work of political consulting, we love to blame the consumer or the voter. And I think politics is the only multi-billion-dollar annual business that blames the consumer for not buying our product. Right. The reason there's apathy is that we're not offering
what they want.
Yeah, and people like Councilman Lopez have reached out to empower them, to give them what they want in terms of representation. And that's a very, very powerful theme that can never be underestimated. But to answer your question, it's really a nationwide grassroots effort. There's thousands of individuals who give to Progressive Majority. In terms of the think tank or the impetus behind the start, it was members of Congress. It was even business leaders who were very progressive. It was activists in almost every state. And it's individuals who want to take this country back, from people like Karl Rove and Grover Norquist, and the whole $2 billion, 30-year Republican political infrastructure that people like Grover have invested in. And I'm not sure if you've heard about that, but I think every Wednesday morning in Washington, D.C., there's about 60 key conservative leaders, people like Frank Lutz, who writes the playbook and the talking points and does all of the polls for all of the hundreds of Republican legislators and at the local, state, and national level. And they get together every Wednesday morning and talk about that week's talking points. And they have think tanks, and they have media distribution activities. They've got leadership development. And that's why Progressive Majority started, was to counter that. And we're part of really a whole nationwide effort where there's going to be more John Podestas of the world and the Center for Progress, and more think tanks and leadership development courses as well.
PCKK, this is Amber. Can you hold, please?
Go ahead and give us a plug for your website here.
Okay, hold on.
What's that website?
Sure, it's just www.progressivemajority.org. Progressivemajority.org.
And then you click on your own state?
Yeah, you can click on one of the states as well as just hear about the issues. And that's something I forgot to talk about earlier, is that we believe in diversity. We believe when more people have access to civic and political and economic power, that we would argue there's much greater societal and economic positive results, such as reduced crime, increased home ownership, increased employment opportunities. So Progressive Majority has at least 50% of its candidates are female, and 35% of its candidates come from communities of color: African American, Latino, Asian American, Native American, etc. And that's really, really important to us. And when someone says, well, what's progressive? And I want to talk about some of the messaging, because from a principle or a values perspective, we believe in creating opportunities, being an advocate for fairness, and protecting individual liberties. From an issues perspective, we talk about things like, is this person going to invest in public schools? Are they going to expand healthcare opportunities? Are they going to expand economic opportunities for everybody, not just a select few? Are they going to invest in the environment? Are they pro-choice? And do they support labor and civil rights? And those are the 6 or 7 issues we talk about. But it's very, very important that we talk about values, because that's another thing the Republicans have done well, is that they connect with the heart as well as the head. And sometimes Democrats, to be stereotypical, we become public policy geeks, and we talk about issues. And there's a time and place to talk about issues.
When I was organizing for Kerry in Edwards in 2004, I would tell people that when I was taking them out to the street to walk the district, I was like, keep your answers short, don't get wonkish. You know, just say this is what it is. Don't go into a bunch of explanation, because people don't want to hear a dictionary explanation. They want to hear from your gut.
Yeah,
what it means to be.
What your principles.
Yeah,
and a lot of times the word values turns off progressives or Democrats, because we think of exclusionary values like focus on the family. But we've got tremendous progressive values, and my big 3 values are, again, opportunity, fairness, and liberty. And those are values that date back to our founders. And as a matter of fact, I'm very active in local politics on the Denver Democratic fundraising chair as a volunteer position, and active in House District 9 politics. And we're having a gentleman who portrays Thomas Jefferson come and speak at a fundraiser at my house on August 15th. And it's about taking back or usurping one of our great founders that the conservatives love to claim as their own on their mantle, which he was very progressive, and he battled the conservatives of his day because he believed in liberty and creating opportunities for all, which is why he invested so much in the public education system.
Yeah, and people don't, people are shocked when they read some of the founding fathers' actual writing and what they stood for. You know, and we kind of had that co-opted by ignorance and messaging from the opposition. We got a call.
Sure.
We're going to take a call. Hello, who do we have on the air here? Hey.
Joe, can you give me some more information on how people can find, how to train as candidates? Do they have to apply, or where can people go to find out more information?
Sure. Just give me a call at 303-454-3331. That was 303-454-3331. Or check out our website, www.progressivemajority.org. And we can have a cup of coffee and just talk about your ability and interest in running for public office. And there's a lot of other organizations too. For example, we partner with so many progressive groups because, again, there's strength in numbers. One of them is Camp Wellstone. If you go to wellstone.org, the late great Senator Paul Wellstone from the state of Minnesota 10 years ago started a training where they trained about 9,000 people across the country to be better and more organized citizen activists, to be effective campaign managers, and to be good candidates. And they partner with Progressive Majority, and they come to Colorado once a year to do a 2.5-day training that costs about $75, and you get to learn how to become a more effective candidate. So there's things like that. Check us out at the website or just give me a call and we'll chat.
Hey, thanks for calling in. And if you have any questions related to Progressive Majority or this show, you can, again, download it at www.ultimatepolitics.net. And we really do appreciate your emails and your support. There's plenty of issues to go around. Before we close out, I'm just going to give Councilman Lopez another chance just to give a shout out. Anything you'd like to say to your constituents from your office here?
Well, I mean, I want to thank everybody for the support and for participating, and not only voting, but by participating in other ways, which a lot of times go under the radar. You know, democracy isn't just about voting. Democracy is about participation. Mm-hmm. And you know, you look at areas where the world where you have voter turnout is almost 99%, mm-hmm. right? And it's because people are very uncomfortable. And here, you know, it's very easy to become comfortable. It's very easy to take that matrix pill and just plug into it, right? But you know, you really need to participate in order to make things change. And you know, at least for my part, I know you know, we've committed to that, and we're committing to the residents of District 3 and also the residents of Denver. And I would just say that one, thank you for that, and that you know, our office is now open temporarily. We have we're using the office the former city councilwoman had at 69 Knox Court in West Denver off of First and Knox. So you know, I suggest you know, we're open. Give us a call. You know, if you'd like to participate, our volunteer base is growing, and we're welcoming it. We
Do you have a website or a web address?
I do have a web address from the campaign. And
you can go to the city council page.
You can go to the city council page, and it'll direct you right in. But I'd like to encourage everybody to let's get together and represent and change this city.
That's a phrase I haven't said in a while, but right on.
Right on.
Hey, thanks for your time.
What are they?
Yeah. Okay. Well, our guests have been Councilman Paul Lopez and Joe Miklosi from the Progressive Majority. Guys, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we've got a lot of great interviews coming up this week on the internet. If you haven't checked it out, you can go to www.ultimatepolitics.net. We've got interviews with Bill Menezes from Colorado Media Matters, Representative Buffy McFadden from down there in Pueblo and Canyon City. Interview with Elizabeth Edwards. Check out UP News nightly, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at www.ultimatepolitics.net. Thanks to my crew here, Bill, Roberta, Amber, and everybody here at 1510. We'll see you next week. and thanks for tuning in.